Hello, everybody. This is Brad here at Project Felix. We've got a couple of people on today. We're going to talk about the subject of failure. We'll do a quick round of intros and get into part one. So I'm Brad, and I like to party.
Go ahead, Bill.
I'm Bill. I like to party with B-Rad.
I'm Mario. I like to party with B-Rad, Bill, and I enjoy long walks in the woods.
It's your turn, A-Rod.
Am I the only other person? I'm A-Rod, and I'm here to party as well. So
We can all like to party. This isn't Hot Rod, so that's okay. Consummate professionals, anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we got that out of the way, what we're going to talk about today is the subject of failure. And we're going to talk about why it's so important and what it does for you. A lot of self-awareness type stuff. If you see me looking off to the left, it's because I have a bunch of notes and I'm trying to stay somewhat remotely in line with them, but not rigidly, of course. Things like critical thinking and self-awareness and all that good stuff. And it also helps to build some courage too, because you take a chance, and if you take a chance, that's because there's some consequences, and those aren't always easy to accept. So the first thing I want to talk about, when you play a game or sport, do you learn more about yourself playing against competition you should beat easily, or when you compete against equal or better players?
So I think that you will certainly learn more when you are with equals or betters. And since A-Rod, were you ever stationed at Aviano?
no, I wasn't. I was at
Okay.
Lincoln Heath.
Yeah. So the Aviano flight, the three of us have been stationed there over the years, but we played a game called Flicker Ball, and I think they still do, right, Brad? Yeah, so Flicker Ball is this crazy officer game that they teach at Squadron Officer School that one of the flight OICs had incorporated probably back in the 70s or 80s. And it's a combination of football, basketball, soccer. It's no contact sport that I sucked at. But I learned a lot, and I would take the shot and miss, or the football would pivot all wonky, and dudes would laugh at me and all that stuff. But I got better, and I didn't get better because I was playing guys that I could easily beat, but it's because I was challenged, and so. With the sport context, and I really I haven't played other sports other than that kind of stuff. So for me, that it's pretty clear, I think.
I had an interesting experience, not with sports, but with creative outlets, actually, because people tend to not want to hurt somebody's feelings or tell them they suck at things when it comes to creative outlets like art and stuff like that. And this wasn't even that fancy, but it's just something I've always remembered since 2005, when everybody was making those cool guy deployment videos and all that stuff. And I basically just threw all of my pictures into the film strip, put some terrible Saliva and other crappy early 2000s music on it that was awesome at the time, and hit save. It was like, look how cool we are. And I heard through somebody else that one of the guys who was with us was like, this is terrible. I don't want to watch this. It's like 7 minutes of the same old crap. and I'm just like, man, screw that guy. He's a friggin' butthole. And then I sat there and I watched it and I'm like, wait a minute. I see what he's saying. I get it now. And I never would have changed if it weren't for somebody being honest and telling me how bad I was at that. And it's not necessarily a failure per se, but it certainly never really dawned on me, and like how important it is to be honest with people if they suck at things or they're doing bad, because you don't always get told that you're failing or doing bad. And then other people will be like, well, it's art, so there is no failure. There are rules. But that just made me think of that for some reason. I think because of the whole competition thing and that kind of stuff. I don't know.
I think just listening to that story kind of resonates with me a little bit about this topic. And for me, it's more examples that I had in life, not really sports and stuff. But I agree with that premise in sports and in anything you do in life. But I always grew up around people, or the people in my immediate circles growing up were kind of where they faced that adversity. They weren't able to like rise to the challenge. So I saw how that kind of created like a sense of bitterness and, just kind of how it affected their lives. But then I also had really good examples. Like I had my grandparents that were like, studying now, they're like the Stoics, they just knew how to roll with the punches and then take those challenges as things that help you grow and improve in life. And I don't know, I feel like learned a lot from them. But yeah, life presents those challenges, right? Where maybe you might not, because I think inherently we're all prone to want to do things that we're going to be awesome at and we feel we would succeed at, right? Or we're just going to easily win. But I think life will always toss us things that forces us to get into those uncomfortable zones of growth. And the challenge is recognizing it, not getting bogged down by it.
Yeah, I think being able to understand that the challenge, there could be some negative consequences, but there could be positive outcomes as well. And the growth.
So I've got an interesting story on what could be considered success and failure at the same time, just at different time frames that I'd like to share, because it's a story from an actual operation, but well, I'll just go ahead and talk about it. Mama Dia 09, one of